place to promote the growth of Tigres in English through analysis, discussions, interviews, and more. Welcome to the Lautimes podcast. Welcome back to the show known as Lautimes. Man, what an episode we have for you guys today. Coming off of a win in El Clasico Regio, an emotional win for many reasons. We're going to talk about all that tonight. We're going to talk about this week. We have such a busy week ahead involving both the men's and the women's teams. So much to discuss tonight. So many emotions to talk through. So many memes to mention. All the things. Welcome back. I'm Dennis. I'm the producer of tonight's host. And I'm very happy to be joined by my friends who are across the state of Texas. One of them being up here with me in DFW. And you know him and you love him as Devil Nation on the Twitter sphere. Mr. Edgar himself. How are you?
Doing good. Hopefully no technology issues today, even though we don't have a camera. We're getting a little better.
We'll survive.
Slightly.
Yes. First comment of the night. Threedger. What a Clasico. Indeed. If you're hanging out with us live, come hang out in the chat like Threedger. And we are also joined by our great friend down south off of I-35. Tigres_English. Lou in the house. How are you?
What's up, guys? Literally a stone's throw away from 35.
That's right. That is right. We may be joined by some other lads later on. And then again, I say that every week and it never happens. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But thank you for joining us. If you are watching live, as always, we already have 9 people hanging out with us on the live stream. Thank you for doing that. If you are joining us live, please help get this out to more people. Help us get this out to more people by sharing the link, by reposting, by commenting, by liking, by subscribing, all the things. And if you're listening back on podcast later, thank you for joining us. Let us know what you think about this episode in the comments on Spotify, or leave us a review and rating on both Spotify and Apple. As I mentioned, so much to discuss tonight, and there's only one place we can start, and that's what happened this past weekend on Saturday night in Clasico Regio number 142. Edgar, set the scene for us as we discuss what ended up being an amazing result for the team.
That's right. We're going to go ahead and get right down to it. The Clasico Regio recap. The most passionate stadium in all of Mexico erupted once again as El Volcán played host to the most anticipated match of the season, El Clasico Regio. Tigres and Rayados went head-to-head in a match dominated by the Auriazules. It was an intense match with a ball that refused to go into the back of net until one worthy guardian of the pitch took his shot in the stoppage minutes of the match. André Pierre Gignac scored the singular goal of the night in what may have been his final Clasico Regio. Truly a night to remember, and truly a match that was more intense than the score leads us to believe. Let's relive what will go down to be a historic match.
As you can see, if you're watching live or if you're listening later, the episode title, Gignac's final Clasico moment, probably at least. Maybe these teams end up playing each other again down the line in Liguilla or in the CONCACAF side of things this season, but as far as we know, this is probably it. And there's no better place to start than there. I mean, obviously, we'll talk about the game as a whole and what led up to that moment. But in reality, that is the defining moment of the game by a wide stretch. A game that Tigres was frustrated by because of just the lack of finishing. A lot of good chances, especially in the second half. Rayados never really threatened, except for like 1 or 2 half chances in the second half. And it seemed like we were heading towards a really unfair stalemate. And then our 40-year-old legend produces this moment of magic off of a wonderful Joaquin pass and scores this ridiculous finish to send the stadium into a frenzy, to send Twitter into a frenzy, to send what felt like the footballing universe into a frenzy. I mean, I haven't seen people talk about Tigres and Gignac like this in a long time. And you can just tell from online, like it has blown up. Just the mere fact that it was such a clever goal in a derby game with the atmosphere the way that it was, with the stadium being packed, with the fact that this is probably it for him after this season. I mean, the ripple effect that this goal had was more than just a game winner on a Saturday night in Liga MX. Like this goal has been talked about what's felt like nonstop since Saturday at 11 p.m. And my goodness, what a moment! I know we all felt emotional watching that goal go in, and there's so many just emotions attached to that moment for Andre Pierre. So, Lou, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on that moment when the ball went in, and just kind of the aftermath for you personally, both in real life and online, and all the things. Because I mean, just what a moment it was for him, for the team, for everybody.
I see we're gonna get started with an emotional uh, moment here. It was special, man. The late singer songwriter Juan Gabriel once said, "Hug me because time passes and time doesn't forgive." And we're going almost on 11 years. In 4 months, it'll be 11 years since Gignac arrived in the city. And to be honest, this was a moment that we really needed to embrace, a moment that we needed as fans to be able to take a little time to enjoy what he has done for the club, to enjoy this moment, to kind of relive some of the memories that he's had. How many times has he saved us in this fashion, the way he ended this Clasico? How many times has he done it? And I felt like everything kind of came winding back. 11-year career at Tigres kind of just came down to this point. I was kind of frustrated as I was watching the game, not understanding why we weren't scoring. We were having many chances, dangerous play, and we just couldn't put it in the back of the net. And I was so frustrated. And he came in, and I was like, man, this game's really gonna end in a stalemate. And I was kind of mad about it. Felt it was unjust, unfair. And Bello Maldonado made a comment during his broadcast, and I thought it was appropriate. He said, "Man, I really hope life and the game gives him one scoring opportunity." And I thought, man, wouldn't that be something, right? If he gets like one scoring chance and he's able to put it away. And to be honest with you, I thought, I doubt he's gonna get it. I felt like the game was kind of winding down, but I was like, man, wouldn't that be awesome if he did get one? And he got one, and he put it away just like the old times. So so to me, that was really special. It was awesome to go see all the players, his teammates embrace him, celebrate him. The way he celebrated, just like his first goal when he first came, just brought back a lot of nostalgia. The way the stadium erupted, I mean, it was just awesome, man. The fans, after the game was over, all stood, and not a single soul left the stadium. They were all waiting for Gignac to make that trek across the pitch and exit the stadium. And I thought, man, what an awesome moment. And when he scored, I normally scream the goals. I didn't. Like, I almost held it, you know. I had like my fist up, pumped. It was just so special, man. It's one of those moments that I feel like was needed. I think we needed to take time out and celebrate this man. The fact that so many people, besides our fans, have kind of chimed in also makes it very special. So, great night. I had predicted last week that we would win in a blowout fashion, but this is way better. We didn't get the blowout, but this is way better. And so I was really happy with how it all went down, how everything unfolded, and what a better guy for it to happen to than our legend Gignac.
Absolutely, we didn't suffer either. I mean, a 1-0 loss that we didn't really have a ton of difficulty in. We'll get to that here in a second. Edgar, I'll throw it to you. Where were you in that moment? Did you do the same thing as Lou? Did you hold in your goal scream, or did you actually let it out? Just your thoughts on that moment, and just the significance that this has for him in the twilight of his career, and for the team right now as we try to gain momentum into the second half of the season.
No, I definitely had to scream that one when I saw it go in. It was a very, very special goal. Yeah, just a lot of emotion for that. There was, like Lou mentioned, there's been countless and countless games where, Gignac is that clutch player that saves the day. It was like all of that nostalgia just coming in one more time, which made it an extra special moment. And I don't know, you know that there's very few of those moments left, but to have that, in a Clasico and what may potentially be his last one, uh, it's just really, really emotional. It was, I think, one of the best goals, definitely so far the best goal of the season, in my opinion.
Well, and you think about all the goals that he scored over the last 11 years with us, and that might be one of his better ones. I mean, just the way that he kind of, made that happen. The pass was great from Joaquin, like I mentioned, but then to just kind of shrug the defender off to the side, and then to make it from that angle, that's a tough angle, man. That's not an easy goal to make. And with the magnitude of the game and where we were with like 2.5, 3 minutes to go, I think when we look back on his career, that's going to end up being like towards the upper echelon of his top Tigres goals, which is crazy to say considering all the golazos he scored since 2015, right?
Yeah, I agree, especially given the context. I think that also plays a huge role. But in terms of technical quality, he's at least 10 feet away from the edge of the 6-yard box with very little angle, like you said, and where he's able to put it with the power that he was able to put on that, you know, just like the old days. I think that's the shot that, if you rewind back to 2016, that's the shot that he would have taken back then.
Exactly. It's his 190th goal in Liga MX. It's his 15th goal in a Clasico Regio game, which is amazing. Just wonderful stats. It puts him in the, what did they say? It was like top 10 in Liga MX scoring history now,
Correct.
which is pretty amazing. Like, what a goal to get that marker on. Like, just amazing. I was in Oklahoma. We did a bachelor's weekend for my friend of the show, actually, Clayton, who gets married this Sunday. We did his bachelor party over the weekend, and we were playing cards, but had the game on in the background because thankfully I brought my PlayStation and was able to get it hooked up. And the screams that him and I both let out together, me being sober and him being the antithesis of sober, was pretty amazing. It was quite the moment because we both felt like as we were playing cards and watching the game, like, this game's not getting anywhere. And then he called it right before Joaquin passed it. He's like, look at Gignac on the run right there. And then as Joaquin passes it, we both like stood up and we just like hollered. I bet you the cabins next to us were like waking up at this point, like, what is going on, like 50 feet away from us? Like, why is there so much screaming? It was such a crazy moment. Like, I hadn't celebrated a goal that hard in a long time, in a long time, probably since we won the championship in 23. And man, I'm just blown away again at the finish, at the moment, just the composure to score that. in that moment. And as we've already mentioned, like the way that this is blown up online has been amazing. And just to see so many people kind of have this moment together, Tigres fans, not Tigres fans, people in France, as Threeger mentioned, it's blowing up in France. Seeing European soccer accounts like mention this and repost it, like what a moment, man! What a moment for him, and I hope that we all remember as we continue to watch this season that, as Edgar just mentioned, those moments are very few and far between at this point with Gignac, and we have to savor it as much as possible. We have to savor every moment that we have left with him until he officially hangs up the boots. They're going to be very few and far between. It would be awesome if he scored 10 goals between now and the end of the season and he ends up lifting 2 trophies. But the reality is he's 40. He's not going to start every game. We'll see what happens, right? Like there's a lot that can happen between now and then. And we just have to savor it like we did on Saturday. And I think the fan base, all of us did such a good job of savoring that moment. It's important that we continue to do that for our beloved number 10. Before we dive deeper into the game, please welcome back for the first time in a few weeks. We have greatly missed our great friend down in Houston, but you know him as our homie from Corpus. Mr. AJ is back with us once again. AJ, how are you? Thoughts on this game, my brother? Because as we've talked about you and me separately over the last few days, just what a moment for you, for all of us, just where we are, and what a moment for the team.
You know, I heard everyone's like reaction, and I let out a scream when he scored. It was honestly, if that's his last goal for the club, because like you said, we don't know. He's 40. He's pushing 40. He's not going to start every game, but if that's his last goal for the club, what a way to cap it off. You know, that's that. Like just seeing the emotion, like not even the emotion in the players. I think hopefully that lit a fire in them. You know, hopefully they can use that momentum to push through. But there was I don't know what channel you watched it on, but on the Fox Sports broadcast, they had like the camera pointed on some fans that were actually crying when the goal went in, crying like tears, you know, because like Lou said, that's, you know, that could be the last moment. You don't know if you're ever gonna see that or get that feeling from Gignac again. But you know, definitely an emotional end to the game, but much deserved win.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of where I want to go next. It's just the bigger analysis of the game. I mean, it's a game that 1-0. Like, yes, we talked about just now that we're glad it ended up the way that it did. But also, you look at that second half, we probably could have scored 3 at the end of it. Like Brunetta had a sitter in the second half. Aguirre's goal, which I want to talk about this, Reeker, because I know you just mentioned that. If Correa wasn't offside, because that was the kicker in that goal, he was offside by, I think, a fair bit, if I remember correctly, like when he headed it, which I think that's what made them call it back. It wasn't necessarily the foul. There was that moment, obviously. A couple other half chances here there. Correa had one like 30 seconds into the second half. We had such a good second half, and it would have felt so wrong to have walked away with just 1 point. Because let's be honest, I mean, we dominated them. Rayados never really had a chance. Their XG, Lou, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like under 0.2, if I remember correctly.
It's pretty low. I'll check it, but it was
super low. Like Nahuel only had like one or two things that he had to stop.
0.06. Yeah. They had 0 shots on goal.
Jeez. Not even that one where Nahuel like Interesting. I guess I don't know why they didn't count that as a shot on goal. That's weird. I thought they had at least the one in the second half. Wow.
No, 4 total shots, none of them on goal. 0.06 xG, bro.
Jeez. Good grief. I know we've talked about Gignac, rightfully so. He deserves a lot of praise and time for that goal. But there was a lot of other standouts in that game. I have 3 off the top of my head, but I don't want to be the one who says them all. So, Lou, I'll kick it to you, and AJ, I want you to go next after Lou. Who is your standout besides Gignac from that game? There's a few worthy candidates, and I know that you may be about to hit the one who probably is the player of the game, sitting in the back line and having a redemption of sorts after a rough start to the season.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, almost everybody was great. Chuy Garza had a few moments where I thought, oh man, he's kind of slipping defensively. But to dominate like that, I think you have to have at least a handful of guys playing really well. So shout out to Uruneta, shout out to Correa. A lot of these guys, even Buffalo, I think did a lot of the dirty work. But, you know, I think after we criticized him so much and saying that he needed to ride the bench for a while, Joaquim came back on fire, bro. I mean, he was on point, and he played the way we need him to play on a regular basis. No mistakes, solid on 1v1s, and then he made the pass to Gignac, that great through ball to Gignac for the win. So to me, he was the player of the match. But I mean, I got to shout out everybody. I think everybody was pretty solid. Yeah, even Loroña, I thought was good. So I think Pizarro got the boys ready after we had such a terrible game versus Puebla. Honestly, it feels like we might have taken the night off against Puebla just to be able to be ready to play Rayados. So
Right.
I think they all sort of redeemed themselves after that terrible game against Puebla. So shout out to the boys for a solid performance, but I'm gonna go with Joaquin for MVP of that match.
Yeah, 1v1, his positioning was really good, like stopped everything like before it really got into the danger zone. Just really loved his performance and his passion throughout the game. AJ, I'll kick it to you. You got to name somebody that's not Gignac and not Joaquim who you want to shout out.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Diego Lainez. He was a machine. He was a machine on the right wing. Set up Angel Correa a couple times. The thing in the first half was the one where he chipped the ball. Angel almost one time into the net.
Yeah, that was a great shot.
Yeah, that would be my man of the match. Just the havoc he was creating on the right wing. Diego Lainez. And I'm happy we extended him.
Yes, and we did not talk about his extension last week because I forgot to think about it. I forgot to put it in the outline. But if you didn't know, listener, Diego Lainez extended his contract until 2029 with the team, which is amazing. Summer of 2029 to be exact. Long may his success with Tigres continue. Edgar, you've heard these two chaps give a player they want to shout out. Now you need to name somebody that's not Lainez, not Gignac, and not Joaquim.
We have to name Nahuel. I think he had a very, very good game.
Okay. My person is a guy who finally had a really solid game and played his best game in the Tigres shirt ever since his arrival, Cesar Araujo. I thought, man, just the way that he like imposed his will in midfield, and also just kind of the way his passing was great, but I really loved, and I want to talk about this with you specifically, Lou, just like the tactic of, okay, we're not going to be in a 4-2-3-1. Romulo's going to drop a little bit deeper. But then in possession, Araujo's going to drop the deepest and even be the furthest back, even ahead of the center backs, to kind of allow some of the passing to come out of the back that way. I thought that was a really interesting tactic within the game, and I thought he was better off for it. He didn't seem unfazed by the moment because obviously, like, that's the biggest game that he's played for us so far, his first derby game, and he did not look out of place for a guy who has struggled after having a huge layoff after the MLS season and hadn't fully found his footing within our team and with the league just yet. This was in some ways like not necessarily his coming out party, but this was like, okay, like he can play in this team and he does have a role. And we've seen glimpses of it, but I think everybody can finally see like why we brought in this guy to play, with just his ability to be versatile and to go anywhere that Guido wants him. I thought that he was really, really, really good.
Yeah, Pizarro had teased that sort of movement last year. I can't remember exactly what game, but he was doing it with Gorriaran, where he would slide him into like that left stopper position, and the squad would sort of turn into a 3-4-3 at times. And Gorriaran was kind of playing that left stopper. And you can kind of see what Pizarro wants to do. He wants to be able to have the best passers in each line available at all times. So even if we're in a transitional phase where we're going from a defensive phase into an offensive phase, he's gonna have a passer in each line. And then if it's going the other way as well, you're gonna be in a position where you have good defenders, speedy defenders, ready to press and recover the ball quickly. So you can kind of start to see what Pizarro wants to do and how he wants to move the ball. I think you kind of started to see a little bit of it against America, for example, how you're able to move the ball and with good movement advance the ball quickly into the final third. So Araujo was a guy that was chosen and well thought out. This isn't a hiring that we made just like out of the blue or out of desperation, like a lot of people think. And I think a lot of people were too quick to give up on him after a couple bad games. You mentioned, yeah, he had a long period of inactivity, and yeah, it's going to hurt him. And he's also going into a different league, a different team, and he's going to have to adapt. And as fans, we need to learn to be a little more patient. Look at what a lot of people did with Romulo too, with Zwarg when he first came in. Everybody was like, "Oh, he's garbage." A lot of people gave up on him, and look at how solid he's been, how versatile he is. And I think Araujo is going to be the same thing for us. He's going to be a guy that's going to help us play clean out the back, defensively great, also really good with the long ball. So he's gonna be a piece that's gonna be very important for us. So we just, as fans, we just need to be a little more patient, get behind him, support him. That way, when the big games come up, which we will be having some big games in a couple months, then he's gonna be ready, and we can stand behind him.
Absolutely. Trigger shouting out Romulo and Garza. One thing about Chewy, I thought it was super interesting his positioning throughout the game because, as I mentioned, we kind of played 5 back, especially when we were like sitting deep in possession. But yeah, he was always pushing up, like ahead of everybody. And there were some instances, especially in the first half, not so much second, where he was even ahead of Linez. I just thought that was really interesting, like just the way he was trying to confuse that side of the Rayados shape. But I thought he had a really good game on both ends of the ball. He's just so consistent. Like, you can always expect that he's going to put in a solid 7.5 out of 10 performance every single week. And now that he's the nailed on starter at right back, it just helps his confidence even more. And the kid is really a great player, and it's just continuing to get better and better and better with every game. If we can just get some more like crosses and stuff from him, like from time to time, and some more assists, it'd be even better, and he'd level up even more. But there's a reason why he got called up to the national team recently. Like, it's not a joke. It's not a fluke. Like, he is a solid player. And once again on Saturday, he proved to show that in a big game, in a derby game. So kudos to him.
And it just fortifies the argument you were making at first regarding Araujo, his versatility, because that sort of versatility allows players like Garza to be able to push up on the attack. Because as he pushes up and Lainez tucks in, he knows that behind him are three good defenders that are going to be able to help him out. And he's not as concerned with having to trek back and defend, knowing full well that the team is well positioned to defend that transition.
Oof. Sorry, I got distracted by
Yeah, that
by the red card that just happened.
Punch in the face.
Eesh. Referring to Champions Cup action between
Did he get ball first, or was that
no, bro?
that was face
whiffed.
and
He
not
whiffed.
even ball, right?
Completely whiffed, bro. Completely whiffed. But it was second yellow, so it makes sense. Yeah. Anyway, Pingüinos versus Cruz Azul. Atmosphere, vibes at the game. I wish we had an Alfred report because I know Alfred was physically at the game. Gosh, I wish I was at this game instead of last year, even though last year was really good.
Did Arnoldo go to this one too? Or
I don't know. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Haven't heard from the man. As Edgar says, es la fantasma. So, it's true.
If we ever have him back, he's going to be a guest on his own podcast.
LOL. But man, shout out the fans. Shout out just everybody in the stadium. The pregame, the tifo, and the whole, just the way that it was, like everybody was holding up their cards during the walkout of the teams. It was loud. Great pictures of the pregame, of the walkout. Just a lot to love about the ambiance of the game and the atmosphere. And once again, we don't disappoint as we tend to do in these games, and fan base deserves a lot of credit for that. And just online, bro, like it was a great night to be on Twitter. I mean, duh, right? Like every time there's a Clasico and we win, like duh, right? But it was just different, man. Like it was a party. Everywhere you looked, it was like funny meme, people talking about the goal, people talking about Gignac, people reposting the video of Nahuel doing this in front of the Rayados fans, aka Papa es Papa.
Carrying the baby. Carrying the baby.
Goodness. Just, oh man, just a great night. Just what a great night. I'm sure the post-game festivities were great in the city. I'm sure that a few of you lads sitting here with me had some fun post-game festivities, if you know what I mean. You don't have to share, but I'm sure you did. Oh, what a great night! I don't know what you guys want to add to the experience of oh gosh, they had to put a player in a goalie. Good grief, that's
Stefan
hilarious.
Medina is in that goal.
That is hilarious. Wow. Anyways,
now you can't miss this though, right? I mean,
nombre güey.
you got a center back, ex fullback at goal. You absolutely can't miss it. Let me know if he misses, bro.
I assume I'm a little bit ahead of you, like I always seem to be.
You're always ahead of me, bro.
YouTube TV, baby. Hashtag not sponsored. Oh no, he scored it. Not even close. Not even close. Oh man. Okay. What else do you guys want to add about El Clasico? Whether it's like all the fun we had online, on Twitter especially. Any more thoughts about the game, about Guido and his game plan, and I don't know. What else do you guys want to add about Saturday night?
The only thing I want to maybe shout out the neighbors for is how well they've been using their youth players, and I believe they've already completed their youth minutes for the year. and perhaps there's something there we can learn from them to better use our pieces. I'm a little disappointed that, for example, in a game against Puebla where we ended up being so lame that we didn't try to do anything about getting more minutes, getting Chicha in there, getting Marcelo Flores in there, maybe even a few of the other guys, of the younger guys. I think if the big boys are not going to take those type of games seriously, then give some of the kids a chance to maybe prove themselves, and maybe they bring in some fire and some energy to the squad.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to get concerned again.
I
About
think we're back in last place again.
yeah, as Dreeger is mentioning that right now, which is not great. We'll have to keep track of that later on, but I don't have the number in front of me. Edgar, AJ, anything else from you guys?
Where would you rank this Clasico?
Oh man, over the last, I'll say ever since Gignac got here, I think that's a fair. So there's been about what 20 to 30 of them since 2015. I mean, it wasn't the greatest game. Like, in all reality, it wasn't. In some ways, you could argue the drama of last year supersedes this year. Like, last year's game at El Volcan had way more crap to it. Like, the red cards, the free kick, the game winner at the end of that one. Like, there was a lot about that game that was nutso. Gignac fighting with people, even though he was hurt. There was a lot about that game that was weird. But it's up there just for the Gignac goal alone. It's probably top of the 30-ish, probably definitely top 10. The French takeover game is higher than this one. You're referring to 2021 too? Flo and Gignac scoring in that same game. That's probably up there. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it's top 5 for me. I mean, if you push it, might even be top 3, like
Oh,
third place.
okay.
For me, it's maybe 5th or 6th place, but yeah, I agree, definitely top 10.
Okay. I think top 10's a good consensus. Is that where you would put it, AJ?
I'm leaning towards top 3, just based off of the emotion of the game, and yeah, I would probably say top 3.
Okay.
The ones that come to mind that are better than this one are obviously 2017 at their place. The one where we blew them out at home in semis. I think
Yep.
that was 2016.
Uh-huh.
It was like a 3-1 win or something like
And
that.
then yep, uh-huh. That one was good.
And then the one that same home and away at their place, the one that had the Gignac golazo where he goes and celebrates like that on the ground.
Uh-huh.
So that would be third for me, and then maybe possibly this one fourth. So yeah, I mean, a top 5 I think would be good for me.
Yep. 2023, the home fixture was good, where he became the leading scorer.
Oh, and then I
in
forgot,
Clásicos.
Dennis, the one where we beat him 1-0 under Siboldi, the Córdoba goal where
Yeah, and
they ended up.
semis.
Yeah, you got to throw that one in
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
their place too.
Uh-huh.
It's funny how many awesome games we've had at their place.
Yeah, and usually until recently that had been less common at ours. But again, 2023, Gignac brace. I think Cordova scored that game too, if I remember correctly. Last year, and then obviously this year, had 2 straight really good games at home in this fixture. So kudos to the squad, man. Great win considering that, well, obviously to get a win over the rival is a big deal, but also it is very important that the team continues to rack up points going into the latter half of the season. I was talking to Clayton about this over the weekend, just kind of where we were, and I told them it's important for us to, you know, keep racking up these wins and to, you know, get up in the standings because we need to be in the best possible positions for Liguilla. And they mentioned this on the broadcast too. I think we don't play anybody else that's ahead of us currently in the standings the rest of the season, with the exception of Chivas in April. So there's a lot of winnable games in between now and the end of April that we have to
And
take
Chivas
advantage
is
of.
a home game, isn't it?
Chivas is a home game. Chivas has not been playing as well lately. Golazo for Cruz Azul. Your twin, El Gemelo scored. El Gemelo scored.
Funes Mori?
Oh,
No.
what a golazo, bro.
No, de Nico, way.
Wow, que golazo. Where was he making? He couldn't make one of those at Tigres? For goodness sake.
No, hombre, way. All this dude did was headers, bro.
All he did was cash checks.
Wow, that was a golazo, though.
It really was.
Golazo.
All right, I got another one.
All right, go ahead, AJ.
Because what Gignac scored 16 now against Rayados?
15.
15. Where do you rank this goal?
Oh, great question. I mean, they dropped the video of it. The team dropped the video of it yesterday, yesterday morning. Golly,
Ranking
That's-
those goals should be a whole episode itself.
for real, right? Maybe that's an off-season thing. Like a Gignac, best of Gignac episode that we do later on. I don't know, man. It's hard to beat the golazo he had in, like you said, 2016, in Clausura 2016, the second leg, the free kick. And it's also really hard to beat that like little scissor falling to the ground that he had in the second leg of the Conca final in 2019. Those are two really hard goals to beat, in my opinion. But also even the one he had at their place, was it last season or 2 seasons ago? The little back heel.
The little back heel.
Yeah,
No, it was longer than 2 seasons ago. It's been a couple years since that one.
Yeah, something like that. Those are hard. I mean, this one was great, but I don't think it's above 3. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I think it might be top 5.
Yeah. Because it's still a crazy finish, but that 2019 one I think might be the best one, and it just sucks that goal did not win that title, because that was a ridiculous goal.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was amazing golazo. In
20
terms of technical skill, that was probably the one with the highest rating.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question, AJ. Anyways, I was saying, just we gotta rack up these wins. Gotta take advantage of these results coming up. Lot to play for still with the league. However, the next game is not a league game. We're back in the U.S. on Thursday against a familiar foe in our friends in Cincinnati. Edgar set the stage for us for the round of 16 of Conca Champions. If you're there. Or do I need to read it?
Sorry, my mic was muted.
Oh, there you go.
That is right. First leg at Cincy on Thursday. The Champions Cup is back, and our Incomparables face a familiar opponent with another edition against FC Cincinnati. Is this MLS side an impossible opponent, or is this looking like an even matchup for the next phase of CCL? Let's break it down.
Okay, so Thursday night, first leg, like we just mentioned, in Cincinnati. It is a 7 p.m. kickoff, if I remember correctly, at 2QL Stadium. Game will be on TUDN and FS2 for those of you wanting the broadcast info. Unfortunately, we were not able to do any like collabs with our Cincy friends this time around. Maybe something will happen in the next day or so, but as of now, we have not done that. But let's talk about this matchup. I'll kind of set the stage with them. They won their first round matchup of this tournament, 13-0 on aggregate. However, in MLS play, they've only won one game. and that was their opener. They've lost their last two. They lost to Minnesota over a week ago, and then on Sunday night they lost at home to Toronto in a 1-0 game. They are not as good in attack as they were last year, based on eye test and just some departures. Obviously, one of their ex players is currently playing for the neighbors down in Orellano. But they still have Denke and they still have Evander, which Evander has been hurt for a little bit this season, so he hasn't been fully 100% yet, but I imagine that he will be fine on Thursday, knowing that he came off the bench and played a fair amount of the second half on Sunday. Last year they were running a 3-4-3 when we played them. Now they're currently running a 3-5-2 because they don't have as good of depth on the wing as they did at this point last year when we played them. So with all that in mind, knowing what we know about them, knowing where we are, let's talk about this first leg on Thursday. The biggest key of the game, obviously, being that we need to come out with at least a goal heading back to Monterrey next week. But let's set the stage for this first leg. How are we feeling about this matchup and our prospects of us advancing?
It'll be an interesting matchup because they do. You mentioned that they're not as scoring as much as they were in like, for example, last season, but they still have a lot of weapons, and they bring in a lot of pieces into the final third. And you mentioned some of the key players, and I would even add in Buka in there too, who's tremendous passer, sees the game really well. He reads the game well.
Scored in the first leg against us last year too.
Tremendous skill, and it's going to be a test for our back line. It's going to be a test for our midfield, especially when you bring that many weapons into the final third. I was watching the game against Toronto and then a portion of the game against Minnesota, and they attack it with numbers, man. It's a blitz. Having said that, if defensively we can be organized and we can be solid and not make any mistakes, then it's a game that we can perhaps control on the road, and it's going to be a game where we're going to have space to attack. So it'll be interesting to see how Pizarro confronts this game. Does he want to be perhaps more of in a low block and kind of cede possession to them, let them have the ball, and then try to exploit the transitions? Or does he try to go into a midfield battle and make it a game in the middle third where we bring pieces into the middle third and we just go toe-to-toe with them? So it's going to be interesting. I think this is a game where we're going to have to be careful. We can't, we're going to have to stay solid. I think a lot of the problems we've had is just self-inflicted wounds. So it's a little worrisome that we gave up 3 goals against Puebla. And then I'm just going back to a lot of the knucklehead mistakes we've made, Pachuca, Cruz Azul. So that kind of does worry me, especially on the road against a really good opponent. I think they're solid. They're well coached. So this first game, I think we're going to need to be very careful. Make sure that we're at our best. And obviously it's a game where if we come out with a tie, I think it's a good result, especially if we can score.
Right. Edgar, throwing to you. Do you expect any lineup changes, any shifting around from Saturday? Do you see kind of the same formation kind of playing out with us kind of playing like a 5-4-1 at times, especially when we don't have the ball? How do you kind of see team selection and game plan playing out?
So potentially a hot take. I think we might repeat the exact same lineup from the Clasico Regio. I think if we do see rotations, it's going to be in the upcoming league match, and I think that we'll dive into it in a minute, but I think that's where we're going to see some of the changes.
Throwing it to you, AJ. Your preferred lineup. Uh, do you keep the same 11 as Edgar just mentioned? Do you make any changes? Um, and who would you like to see come off the bench?
I would say we were with in the Clasico we were unlucky with not finishing our chances. But I would say that was probably the best all around performance from the team, like from all phases, the defense, the midfield, and the attack. If we would have finished the chances, it would have been, like a 3-0, 4-0 game. So I honestly see the same lineup coming into this game, just based off of the momentum that that lineup has. I would like to see Chicha come off the bench on the left. I would, I think, get him some minutes. The left, in my opinion, I think he can if we can get him and Linez going on both sides, is the sky's the limit for this team.
I would love for that lineup to stay the same, knowing that on Sunday at home, we need to probably rotate ahead of next week. And also, as we mentioned, we have a lot of youth minutes to make up for. Um, I know we'll talk about Sunday in a second, but I think I'm in agreement with everybody that we keep the vibes rolling. We keep the main thing, and we try to um, keep rolling with what we've got and see how it goes from there. I would imagine that Ociel will come off the bench like you did last time, and we'll see what happens there. Obviously, would like to see Gignac uh, get back into the fray, maybe score, or well, obviously score, but also get some more minutes. I know he only played 10. He's been dealing with that injury uh, before the Clasico, so it'd be nice to see him get a little bit more run. Hopefully, he doesn't get any more discomfort. Um, and I think that this is a game very much for the taking, even though uh, Lou has greatly laid out why Cincinnati's going to be a tough opponent even still. Um, I feel good about where we are. I feel like just the as far as vibes go, um, we're in a better spot for Cincinnati to come in 2 losses in a row is not ideal for them, and for us to have not only won but have won such a big game that means a lot to us. I think can only help us, you know, progress even more and to have a lot of good momentum going into that game on Thursday. So I'm looking forward to it. Cincinnati is kind to us as far as fan base goes. Like we have a lot of nice interactions with their people on Twitter, and I expect a decent crowd for us to be there, like there was last year. Um, and I'm obviously hoping for a win. Uh, I do think we will get a goal, and I'm going to predict as we start making predictions. I'm going to predict a 2-0 win. Correa goal, and I think Buffalo scores for his second straight game in Champions Cup. What do we think?
I don't have faith in this team to keep a clean sheet. I'm just I'm just a little disappointed in our back line this year. I'm looking at the goals allowed this year over the season compared to last season, for example, and we've had a huge drop off. Yeah, you can blame it on mistakes or whatever, but it's just been disappointing. And so to go against a team with this many weapons on the attack, I just don't trust that we keep the clean sheet. So I think best case scenario for us is a 1-1, perhaps a 2-2 on the road. And then I guess next week we'll bring up the predictions for the home match, but to me, I think I'm gonna go with a 1-1. I think that's best case scenario for us, and I'm hoping that that's what the result will be.
Thankfully, compared to our first road match in this competition, it should not be as cold. And we're not playing on turf. 3-1 just because Lou has no faith. All right, Drinker. That's the energy that I like. Ozio's been coming in as a left wing back recently. He has been. He did play a little bit more back, especially on Saturday, which I thought was really interesting.
And now that he brings up Ozzy, I think he needs to start this game, bro.
Oh,
Yeah, I think he needs to start.
okay.
Hot take.
I think we're gonna need him.
Okay. AJ Edgar predictions ahead of Thursday.
I'm thinking 2-1. Like Lou mentioned, I don't think we're gonna have the fortune of a clean sheet for this match, but I think we can sneak away with the win.
Whoo! That thunder in the background. That's how you know you in DFW. Them storms coming up loud.
Man.
Yep. If I disappear, that's why.
For real. AJ.
I'm gonna go 2-1 as well. But I will say, in terms of the defense, I think once we get Fadfan back, it's gonna turn
Man.
turn things around.
And speaking of him, he's been appearing in training pictures again. Not like fully back with the entire squad yet, but he is at least on the bike. I think his return is coming close. I don't know if he'll be back before the end of the month, but I do think he's going to make an appearance at some point in April. And then it'll really be interesting to see whether or not he immediately comes back and takes Loroña's spot, or if Guido continues to put faith in Loroña. We'll see what happens there.
I mean, Loroña's been doing good, but just Fadfan's just there's levels to this, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
There's and I know Lou like stresses this all the time. This is like honestly what we get for letting Aquino walk, because that's a depth piece we could have used on both sides, because he can play left and right. But like I said, when Fadfan comes back, I think it's gonna turn a page for this defense, and it's gonna be back to where they were last year.
True. A big reason why we were so solid in the back, especially once he arrived. Like, we didn't really have a ton of bad moments, and he never really had a bad moment, except for, I know there was that one goal in the Tijuana Liguilla match in that away leg where he got caught out on the corner. But other than that, he's only had that moment as like a stain as far as his Tigres career goes. So hopefully he comes back very soon. Goriaran hopefully should be back soon as well. Although, as far as I've seen, there hasn't been a ton of reporting on either of them with their timelines just yet. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully we'll have a better update for you guys next week. Now, moving on to Sunday, and as we kind of talk about Sunday, we mix in the men's team with the women's team. Edgar set the stage for Sunday, what should be a busy night at El Volcán.
That's right. Home game versus Querétaro. Smiles return as our lovely Amazonas return to the most passionate stadium in all of Mexico now that Femenil international break has concluded. However, the calendar has shifted, and now Tigres fans are in for a special treat, as this match will be a doubleheader. Before we give our full attention to the Femenil side, let's discuss how the men's match will be lining up, also against Querétaro.
I can't remember off the top of my head, so y'all help me out. Is it men's first and then Femenil? Is that what's happening?
So I think it's actually Femenil first,
Okay.
playing, and then the men's team.
Okay. Which, man, that pitch is gonna get beat up.
Wrecked.
But doesn't the Femenil play on Thursday?
They do play on Thursday.
No, it's after the Cincy game. So
Yes.
we play Cincy at 7. When that game ends at 9, Femenil plays against Santos,
Yes, yes. We're
right?
we're gonna get to the femenil in full in a second. I wanted to stay on the men's side real quick, because yes, that game is happening. You don't have a funny nickname for Querétaro this week, Edgar, like you did last week with Puebla with Camote FC.
Chicken Nuggets FC.
I like it. Nuggets de
Los
pollo.
Nuggets de Querétaro. That's a good one. I think that's one of the top 3.
I love that. That's amazing. Threaker's saying men first. Okay, so I'll look at
Hoops.
the account here in a second. As we
Yeah,
just
because
mentioned. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. So I'm looking. Tigres women play Querétaro at 9. Is that right? I mean
Yeah.
at 7.
Yes. So that means the men play at 5? That seems awfully early for a Sunday game.
6. They play at 6.
At 6. Oh, here it is right here.
When's the last time that's happened where the men and the women both play the same team on the same day?
Men at 5, women at 8. Okay, there we go. That makes sense. There's got to be some sort of a gap in between the two.
Yeah, but
Thank
that's
you.
Mexico time, isn't it? So it would be 6 here because we sprung forward and had the time change and Mexico didn't.
So 6 o'clock.
6 Central. 6 Central.
6 Central for the men, and that means 9 Central for the women, because we're basing it off Monterrey times, as the graphic here shows. 5 Monterrey time for the men's, 8 for the women. So that means it's 6 here and 9. So late night on Sunday night. But I'm not complaining about that whatsoever. As we mentioned, big game as far as like getting back up in the standings, taking advantage of a quote unquote weaker opponent, but also big moment for youth minutes. I think the lineup needs to be shifted around quite a bit. I really think we need to start Marcelo and Chicha in this game. I think that would be a very good decision. Honestly, it would not surprise me if Andre Pierre also starts this game if he's like back up towards that. How do we see that lineup on Sunday shaking out, knowing that there's a lot of priorities that need to be fulfilled?
You got to go alternate lineup, man. Complete, like, not just a couple pieces. I mean, you're playing against the second worst team in the league. And I don't see why you can't have Chicha out there, Marcelo, the kid we brought from Atlante, Gacelo Lopez. I mean, the works. The works.
Puratovic?
Purata needs to play. You want to throw
Vigor?
Rafa Guerrero in there, Vigon. Who's Chuy Garza's backup? Does he even have a backup?
Is Ordonez existing still?
Nah. So you
No.
could do like Loroña on the right and then insert the kid from Atlante on the left.
Paco? Put Paco on the left?
Paco Reyes. No, Paco, yeah, it's Paco Reyes, right? Or
Yeah.
Paco Reyes on the left. Yeah, that's the kind of squad that you need to put out. Don't
Yeah.
mix it because then they showed you against Puebla, they don't come out motivated against these matches. So let these guys who need to have something to prove play those games. Give them the minutes.
Agree or disagree, Edgar and AJ?
I agree. You definitely got to rotate the players. And hot take, I think Vigon counts as youth minutes. With that radiant energy he brings onto the field.
I love it. I mean, he's young in spirit, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, I love it. How many points do they have, Querétaro? They're like
6 or 7.
sorry.
Uh-oh.
6.
I did.
6 with a -8 goal differential, so that's the second worst goal differential in the league.
And they're winless in the last 4.
Yes, their last 4, they lost 3-0 to San Luis. They tied to Llantos, and then they got blown out by Rayados last week, and then they lost barely against America over the weekend.
Yeah, so let's bring in the kids, man. Let's give them all minutes.
Bring in the kids, and let's get at least a 2-goal win. That would be great. 2-0 win is my prediction. Again.
I'm gonna go 1-0.
AJ, if you're there.
I'm leaning 2-0 just based off the rotation we're gonna have in the squad. 2-0.
Edgar.
I'm with AJ. I think 2-0 is going to be a good one.
Big one. That puts us at 19 points, which you got to start hoping for some teams above us to drop. We're 3 behind Pumas right now, 4 behind Pachuca, 5 behind Chivas, although Chivas has played a game less. And Atlas is with us, but we have a slight goal differential advantage over them, and America's 2 points on our tail. So it is by all accounts a must-win game. I mean, you're at home, need to start winning at home again, like consistently, need to get some consistency and momentum there. Obviously, winning on Saturday helps with that, but we've lost 2 games at home in the league this year, and that's not acceptable. Obviously, it was against some of the teams that are doing better this season, but that's not good for this team, and we need to make our home a fortress, like I mentioned last week. So hopefully that will happen. As always, that game will be on the usual spots of Estrella and Fox and some sort of Telemundo property. Whether I don't think it's on Telemundo proper this week. It's probably on Universo, but it'll probably be on Peacock as well.
I think we got a favorable schedule the rest of the way compared to everyone above us.
Yep.
So that's looking positive.
I think if we finish 6th, 5th or 6th, I'd be happy.
Depending on how the matchups shake out or how the standings shake out, I think I agree with you, Lou, but we'll see what happens. I also think too.
You could get what, like a Pachuca maybe?
Yeah, and here's the other thing too is that the standings, yes, they're important, but also there's a lot of things that are going to change in Liguilla with the more foreigners on the field rule, with guys from the Mexican national team leaving. That's not going to hurt us as much, but that could have a massive effect on like a Toluca, for example, or Cruz Azul. So,
and my understanding, it's old school Libertadores rules, where back in the day in Libertadores, you were able to pick up players from other teams if you wanted to.
Oh, so kind of like how they did it for Club World Cup, even this past season.
That's my understanding. And so if that's the case, that's another variable that you need to add to that.
Bring in some random cats from Tijuana or something for.
Well, I was thinking that Denzel. Is that Denzel Garcia that plays for Juarez? What's his last name? We were flirting with him.
Linked to him.
Yeah, and I think that would be kind of a cool tryout piece to bring in.
Hey, if we're doing that, just bring Aquino back at this point. Like, if we're just gonna.
I was actually thinking about that, but is he still bitter? I mean, if he's bitter, then
true.
But it would be awesome though. Dude.
Pick up Gil Mora. Nah, bro, that dude's gonna be gone on the national team.
I will take Fulgencio before I take Gil Mora.
This guy.
If Witzy was here, he'd say bring Fulgencio.
Yeah, for real. What other ex players can we bring back to? Bring back El Chaca, bro. Is El Chaca still at Pachuca? Can we steal him for?
No, Chaca. Where is Chaca now?
Or did he leave? Did he leave Pachuca?
No, I think he's still at Pachuca. You're right. But I mean, if Pachuca's going to be in the most likely a playoff team, you got to look at the teams.
The teams that
are
like top 8.
Like
yeah.
Mazatlan, maybe there'd be some pieces there.
Yeah, mazapan, camote, uh, all the other Edgar names.
Santos,
Llantos.
those kind of teams. Juarez, those are the ones you got to be looking at. Possibly Atlas, possibly Necaxa, that kind of.
Flan Luis, as Streaker has mentioned
Oh,
here.
which San Luis has that striker, bro.
Pedro? Drop Pedro?
Yeah,
Or did at this point also bring back Leo Flores?
I mean that's an interesting piece if you were to bring him in.
Edgar, I think you have an assignment before next week is you need to figure out a nickname for every team in the league. We need to keep this bit going.
We'll get it done. Don't worry.
I love it. I love it. As we mentioned, as we figured out, 6 p.m. Central kickoff on Sunday, preceding Femenil, who play at 9 p.m. on Sunday, as we mentioned. But also, they will be playing on Thursday against Llantos Femenil. That's a 9 p.m. kickoff, as you just mentioned, Lou, on Thursday.
I believe that's what I saw.
Sounds right. Couple little things with Femenil, real quick. Great news. Anika, aka Mi Amor, is back in training. As is Deiri. She's also back in training, which is great. They're not fully ready yet. Edgar Martinez reported today that Anika's not fully back in contention to be selected for squads or anything just yet, but she is back in group training. As far as I know, everybody else is healthy for the most part. Obviously, we're still waiting on Mari Carmen Reyes and Ciso and the girls who've been out long term, but everybody who has been back is still back. It was great to see Greta score for the women's national team on a header over teammate Jennifer Cortinali, which I thought that was hilarious. And then seeing Cortinali and our beloved Jackie Ovalle post game exchange jerseys and talk it up after the game was cool. And that friendly that they had against Brazil. And then obviously, two big matches this week for the girls as they look to also climb up in the standings to kind of make some amends from some of their struggles from this first part of the season. How do we feel about Las Amazonas going into this doubleheader, and how important is it to pick up 6 from 6 at home this week?
You have to. You can't drop any more points. We're 5 points away from the top for first place. We're sitting in 6th currently, and thankfully we got to the break because I think we needed it after what we saw against Mazatlan. But I think it's time to start dialing it up and start playing better. If not, Pedro is going to go back to being criticized just before the break. So I think 2 critical games, 2 games where you need to show dominance, no excuses, and hopefully the team looks better because they've been disappointing this season and at several games. And I think we still have quite a bit of a tough schedule ahead of us. So we need to start improving.
I'd love if the fan base on Sunday stuck around for both games. I mean, why not, right? Like at this point, if you're there for the men's game at 6, you might as well just stick around. I mean, I know people at work and kids and stuff, but if you're like me, just hang out at the stadium for 6 hours. They got tortas, they got pizzas, they got they got everything you need, bro. They got all
Yeah.
the los alimentos, bro. Los alimentos.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, you'll be fine. So hopefully we get a good atmosphere, especially on Sunday, with the doubleheader. I do think the Sunday match will be a challenge because, as we have alluded to, like the pitch is going to be really interesting. having been played on right before, hopefully it doesn't turn into a complete disaster right after, but we'll see. Edgar, AJ, thoughts on this doubleheader week, and anybody else love to see those pictures of Ovalle and Cordinelli?
Great opportunity to recover some points on the Feminine side. And yeah, I think the Ovalle and Cordinelli little matchup it's a nice little treat that I wasn't expecting.
I think we had 4 Tigres / ex-Tigres players in that game between
Marisa, Cordinali, Greta,
Ovalle. That's a
and
5.
Ovalle.
And one Ceci
Delgado.
also, yeah, Ceci also started that game too, which was cool. So great,
So 6.
5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah.
Not 7, just 5 or 6. Not.
We need Alfred back over here to start shaping you up, bro.
Oh, Delgado, yeah, 6. Thank you,
Yeah,
Freaker.
Delgado.
Yeah. Yeah. We need Alfred to come back here para que me da un zape, okay?
Yeah, he needs to. Too much of that 6-7 stuff.
Bro, I'm around.
Us old timers don't understand that kind of stuff.
Brother, I'm around children all the time. I can't help it. I'm mixed into the culture, unfortunately, and I don't like it. But it's a product of being around the children all the time. Score predictions for both games. Starting with the Thursday game, AJ.
We did the Cincinnati game already, right?
Yes, we're talking about Femenil.
Oh, Feminil. I see 2-0 for the ladies.
Okay. Edgar.
7-0 massacre.
Man.
Both games or
Both. 14 goals.
I love it.
Let's do it.
Lou.
I'm gonna go 2-0 against Santos, and I'm gonna go 5-0 against Querétaro.
Santos has been decent, right? This
Yeah,
season?
because they're better. They're better. They've
Yeah.
improved.
But Querétaro Femenines, they're bad.
Querétaro Femenil has dropped. They dropped too many players in the offseason. They lost their coach who had been great, in Fernando Samayoa. So yeah, they've been disappointing, and I think they'll continue to slump. So
Okay.
I think that's a game we need to blow them out.
Cool. I'll say 4-0 on Sunday and another 2-0 on Thursday. I'm just the 2-0 man tonight, apparently. So that's
2-0.
2-0, basically. That would have been nice had the Mexican World Baseball Classic team won 2-0 last night. That would have been hilarious, but obviously that did not happen. Even though the U.S. is currently getting, well, they actually came back a little bit, but they were getting destroyed by Italy just now.
Italy? That's weird.
They're Italy's winning 8-4 right now.
Wow.
And they were up 8-1, which is crazy. 2-0 men, 7-0 feminine. All right, Drieger, I see how you are.
Loving the
So
optimism.
are those just Thursday predictions then?
I've got to think that's what Sunday is.
Sunday, okay.
Is that your Sunday prediction, Drieger? Please reply back ASAP. We're starting to land the plane here. A couple more things before we go. From the vault, Sunday, he says. That's what I figured. From the vault, I had one that I put down on the outline this week. Last year's Conca Champions matchup versus Cincinnati, which is, if we remember, the first leg was Guido's first leg as Tigres head coach. That was a 1-1 draw before we came back and beat them 3-1 in Monterrey. Now, can you guys guess the lineup for both of those games?
Ooh.
Because they were basically identical.
I know Cordova played. I know Gorri played. I want to say the back line was probably Purata, Joaquim, Angulo and Aquino
And Chuy Garza. We had 5 back both games.
and Chuy Garza. Okay. And then Gorri was in there.
Nope.
No? So we played Cordova then?
Not as a starter. He came off the bench in both games. We had the exact same bench and the exact same starters both games, and like the exact same subs that came in both games. It was kind of wild.
Didn't
So Cordova started, right?
Yes. AJ?
Marcelo Flores?
Flores started both games.
Bruneta,
Bruneta started both games.
Nico Ibanez.
Nico Ibanez started both games. Yep. Scored in
So
the
I'm
second
just-
leg. Scored in
and
both
then
legs.
And then Lainez on the right.
Nope. Carioca in the middle.
Oh, wow.
Lainez was not even a sub.
Wonder if maybe he was injured for this
That
one.
was probably when he was dealing with a little bug, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he wasn't listed as a sub in either game.
I know the first score was Nico Ibanez off of a Cordova cross
In the first leg.
in the first leg.
Yep.
And then in the second leg, they started out winning, didn't they?
Yes, they did get the first goal. Evander scored the first goal. I was there. I remember this vividly.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think who scored the 3. I remember Cordova not having a great second leg.
Nope. He came off at halftime.
There was a Bruneta golazo, wasn't there?
Yep. Bru. Nico also scored in the second leg. Can you guess the third goal scorer?
Gorri?
Nope, but he had an assist. It was actually the person who scored first in the second leg.
I remember Gorri coming in and having a great game. Just trying to think who scored. Was it Purata?
Nope. It was.
Ozzy, I think.
It was. Ozzy. Nuestro Jude. I think it was one where it was like kind of outside the box, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was a one. I think it was. I forgot who had set him up outside the box, but it was literally a one touch, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Set him up, and then he just, took a shot on the goal.
Ociel had a goal and an assist in this game. The very rare Ociel positive contribution game. Unfortunately.
That's why he needs to start.
Maybe Conca's
On
his thing,
Thursday.
bro. Maybe
He needs to
Conca's
start
his
on
thing.
Thursday, bro. He's an
Put him-
MLS guy, bro. We need to send him to MLS. Set him free.
Put him at left back.
No, we're not gonna put him at left back. He needs
I'm
to
with
play at left winger and then tuck in, basically
Yeah.
play as a second forward.
Yep. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. Oh hey, you're I forgot your boy Clayton Kershaw is on the World Baseball Classic roster, Lou. So he's
Yeah.
currently warming up to pitch.
Come in to shut it down, bro.
Coming in to eat some innings with them being down 4 runs.
Trying to get it some outs, huh?
For real. Is there anything that we have missed on this very fun, very emotional episode?
No, I can't think of anything.
Okay. Well, that's going to do it for us as far as this episode goes. Stay
Great to have
tuned.
my boy AJ back, that's for sure.
That's right. I second that fully. Stay tuned on whether or not we will be back later this week. Hint, hint. Potentially a watch along of sorts may happen on Thursday. We'll see if these jokers want to do it with me. So stay tuned for that with the Cincinnati match. We'll see. At the very least, we'll be back next week to discuss the second leg of the Cincinnati series, to hopefully talk about 4 wins between all the 4 games that we've previewed tonight, and whatever else happens between now And then as we head towards the middle of March, spring break week, international break coming up for the men's side at the end of the month, second half of the season. Just booked my flight to Monterrey today, so I'll be there for the Chivas game in April with our fantasmas of Alfred and Arnoldo, because that's apparently the only way to see them nowadays is to physically go down to Monterrey and make sure they still exist. Anyways, thank you for joining us. If you watched this live tonight or if you are listening back later on pod, do us a favor and follow us on all of our socials, whether it's the lautimes accounts or it's us individually. You can look at the screen, you can look at the show notes, you can look at the episode description, all the things. Be sure to subscribe and follow and like and share and comment all the things. This helps us out a ton to get this out to more people. Thank you, Threeger, for joining us in chat tonight, as always. And like I said, we'll be back next week to recap hopefully a 4-for-4 week and look ahead to next week's festivities. So thanks for joining us. If you're up here in DFW, stay dry with the storm coming in tonight. But everybody else, stay good. Be well out there. We'll talk to you guys a week from now. And Lou and AJ and Edgar, thank you guys for joining me.
Peace.